I'm greatly honored today as I stand here in front of all of you. And I'm very honored to be the recipient of the Seacology Award this year. I have to say I'm still as overwhelmed as I was the first day I found out about it. Thanks. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. For those of you who don't really know where the Maldivian islands are, we're located in the Indian Ocean. We're sort of a bit southwest of India, and we're a chain of small, tiny islands, about 1,200 islands, that we actually cross the equator down south. And there are about 350,000 people that live in these islands, and we're concentrated on about 200 of those islands. There's about 105 resorts, and thus we really depend on tourism in the country. There's about 1 million tourists who visit the country each year, and I have to say tourism drives the environmental conservation. There's been a lot of species conservation due to pressure from the tourism industry over the years, starting from the mid-'80s. And it's always good to have them with you when you're having a case of conservation in the country. Our other biggest sector is fisheries, and traditionally it was the main sector, and even now there's about 10,000 fishermen that depend on this livelihood. The fisheries and tourism is very interlinked, because with the start of tourism we're having more and more demand on the fish, on different types of fish and invertebrates. So we have to find a balance in these resource exploitations. This is my inspiration, my late uncle Mazang Hassan Manik. He was a marine biologist by training, but also an architect, a photographer, and a bridge between the generations. And I grew up very, very close to him and was exposed to a lot of conservation issues. And here I would have been about 18, which is when I joined the Marine Research Center, which is the research arm of the Ministry of Fisheries that was founded by my uncle. So he's much missed by the whole community, actually, because he was such a big part of many different things. And he was an advocate of traditional management systems. And like I was saying to Dwayne, there's files of information that he had collected, which I think one day it would be good to go back to and look at, because it would have a lot of great information. So I joined the Marine Research Center at 18. I was fresh out of high school, and this is me getting in the papers for being the first woman diver in the Maldives. So thank you. There's a lot more people, girls and even boys getting into diving now with the tourism industry flourishing. But at the time, even my parents didn't really want me to go diving because I might not come back. That's how people saw diving. It's something really scary. But I had the great opportunity to go for field trips and, interact with the people who we really needed to talk to manage the resources. So before I went on to do my first degree, I already had the opportunity to go and learn about what I really needed to learn about at university. So it was really great. And so from there, I went to Australia to do my undergrad, and then 3 years back in the Maldives, and then for my master's. So in that time, I was doing a lot of underwater, coral reef monitoring. I was on the National Coral Reef Monitoring team. And then I started moving towards management, which really helped me to see the link between monitoring and management. So it was, I think I've been really blessed with a lot of things in life, a good education and opportunities to see why you really needed to monitor to do management and many things like that, and the importance of doing things on the ground like Seacology is doing. Now I don't really like to do reports and things. I mean, too many reports on shelves. I rather like to work on the ground, on things that can be implemented. So why sharks? At the time when I came back from my master's, the issue of sharks was coming up in the Maldives. The exploitation rates were going up, and this is somewhere in Japan. 100 million sharks are killed each year, and you know, this is sort of every day over there. So I felt that we needed to do something about it, and started working on a review of the shark fishery. So I went to the islands, talked with the fishermen, went to the processing units where they were drying the fins. And the good thing in the Maldives was we didn't fin the sharks. We didn't fin it and throw the carcass over. We used the whole shark. We used the meat for salting to export to Sri Lanka. They're very fond of salted meat. And this is another photo from the processing unit. And I also did some length frequency studies to compare to how the lengths were decreasing over time, and came up with a review reporting the status of the shark fishery in the Maldives. So this report is 2009, but I did a similar thing in 2004. It was passed by the Fisheries Advisory Board, but didn't go through for endorsement to the President's office. So they asked me to redo it, which was very frustrating. It's just the lack of willingness to do this on the part of some managers. And finally, when the government changed in 2008, I redid the review, and there you go. We had a fishery ban within the within a 12-mile zone. That was for the reef sharks, because it was seen to be very urgent. So from the day that it was passed, the reef sharks were protected, and a year later, the oceanic sharks as well were protected within the exclusive economic zone of the Maldives. And a year after that, the trade ban came in, so import and export of shark products is banned from and to the Maldives. After that, more recently, I've been working with the Pew Environment Group on their global shark campaign. So I'm working with in the Asian region, and this is our team that went to the CITES COP16, where amazingly we managed to list the 5 species of sharks and 2 manta ray species on the Appendix 2 of CITES. So it was great. A lot of fighting. For those who have been to CITES, it's a lot of fun fighting with the opposition, you know, who's trying to buy your votes as well. So, you know. Here I'm going to talk a little bit about the work that I've been doing under the CMARC umbrella. CMARC was founded by myself and my husband Thomas in 2000, and we've been doing a lot of work in collaboration with resorts, especially the Four Seasons Resort. And so I'll talk a little bit about waste management. This is Tilafushi, which used to be a reef, and which is our only landfill site in the Maldives. So all the non-biodegradable waste is taken to this site, and the island has been reclaimed over time with garbage. And we've started projects in the islands where the people have a lot of waste because of changing lifestyles. There's a lot of non-biodegradable waste now. When we were little, there was no plastic, no bottles, no cans, no nappies. You know, everything was biodegradable. And now, with the change in lifestyles, you see this. There's the Island Waste Management Center. You can see the fence. And the waste is all over the place. So what we've done is from this to go to this. So cleaned up the island. And now what we're doing is getting the people to segregate the waste at their household level. And we collect the waste every 2 weeks with the resort boat. So we're getting a link between the resort and the communities to clean up the islands and keep them clean. We had a lot of meetings with the community, and we also got the island councils to be involved. We got them to build sheds, and then we bought them bins they could use. So it's a great project that's working, and the network is expanding now. There's more resorts joining and more islands joining in this project. One of my greatest passions is environmental awareness. People were asking me if I was nervous today, and I said yes, because usually I talk to kids, and it's a great feeling to be, talking to you guys, and also to kids, because there's so much interest in, especially the marine environment for these kids. From the Maldives, a lot of these kids don't go in the water. They don't have a mask, or, it's not our culture to be so much in the water somehow. And so we run classroom activities where we talk about conservation issues. We take them around the marine discovery centers where we have some huge aquariums and the different projects on the walls. And we also run some practical sessions with them, teaching them to do the coral frames, which I'll talk a little bit later about. And we take them snorkeling, as I said in the video. It's amazing to see their faces when they come up from their first snorkeling trip, because it's a world of wonder under the water. We've also had a youth program where we've had youth from the different islands of Biatol come to Four Seasons, and we've run a program for them, making them aware of the existing legislation on the environment, to try to effectively implement these measures. So I know one of the guys through this project had gone back to his island, and it's one of the islands that eats a lot of turtles. And he has, done a lot of work after learning about how important turtles are. He has stopped eating turtles himself, and he apparently, the other islanders tell me that he doesn't allow anyone else to eat turtles on the island now, so it's great. They're not very happy, but I am. And we have another project, Sea Turtle Protection Monitoring and Head Starting Project. This follows on a little bit from the Seacology project in Kendu, where a kindergarten school was built in exchange for not stopping to eat turtle eggs on the island. And it didn't work at the time, a bit embarrassing and all that, but hopefully it's starting to work a bit more. Maldivians are very fond of doing things that they shouldn't be doing. I guess it's the same everywhere. And these eggs are sold, for 2 rupiah an egg. And what we're doing now is we're getting them to conserve or preserve the nests until the hatchlings come out. And we buy them for 10 rupiah hatchling. So we've had quite a few, we've had a lot of interest in this project. And see, these are some green turtles. And the green turtles are those that are eaten in the Maldives. The hawksbills we don't eat. I don't know why, but apparently it's poisonous or whatever. I'm sure it's not, but don't tell the Maldivians. So we're trying to increase the number of green turtles that go back into the environment. And we keep 5% of the hatchlings for our Head Starting project, and we release 95% on the day they hatch. This is a baby hatchling. And we also have a turtle clinic. This is a really interesting project that started off when marine biologists, when they were going on the excursions with the tourists, started seeing mostly olive ridley turtles entangled in the ghost nets. And often they had a lot of infections, or the limbs were beyond repair. And so we bring these back to Four Seasons at Landa Giravaru and try to rehabilitate them. We have to get medication from Australia and Europe, wherever, because we don't have it at home. And we get the resort doctor, at the clinic doctor, to amputate the limbs. So it's very interesting. And at one point, one of the guests gave a donation to build proper tanks, so now we've got proper tanks. This is Andy, who was found by one of the other resorts and was brought to Four Seasons in July. It was released a month later, one less flipper. It's a very young turtle, but we couldn't save its flipper. It's interesting to see that now, because we have been doing this for a little while, everybody knows about this. So whenever somebody comes across a sick turtle, we get a call, and often they're flown by seaplane or they come by speedboat, and we try to do our best. It's starting to be a lot more than we can handle at times now, because there's a lot of olive ridleys that drift in from India. We do some satellite tracking of these turtles, so we tag them, both the head starting from the Head Starting project and from the turtle clinic. So these are the tracks of those from the turtle clinic. They do travel far and wide. The ones from the Head Starting project stay close to Maldives, probably because they're two different species. These are mostly loggerheads that are found more in India than in the Maldives, and the others they probably have their feeding and nesting sites in the Maldives. The Coral Frame project, which you also saw, was started right after the tsunami, and Toma engineered these frames where we tie small, tiny pieces of coral fragments, and you can even do that out of the water. It's very cost-effective because we're using steel rebars to do it. And it's easy to manipulate because you can do it out of the water. You don't need underwater time. And here I'll show you a sequence of over 1 year and 4 months. Yeah. So that's one of the older, mature coral frames. You can see that it's like a natural reef. There's corals growing, dying, and then more corals growing on top. So it's really great. It attracts a lot of fish as well. These are some of the people who have been there for me throughout my years of work. And I would like to especially thank Vinita Hoon for having the faith in me to nominate me for this prize. She's been trying to do that for a few years, and I never knew what she was up to. She kept asking for my CV. And I was like, I just gave it to you, we worked on projects in the region together, so that's how I know her. I would also like to thank Armando Kranzlin, the general manager, and the vice president of the region of Four Seasons. And he is the greatest general manager you'll ever meet, with a lot of passion for the environment. And he believes in connecting the community and the resorts together for a betterment of lives for the communities. And I've never had a no from him for any of the projects that I've suggested. He always says, Marie, I trust you to do the right thing. So he's great, and my family and friends. And I would like to say a big thank you to Seacology. As I said, I'm still overwhelmed. The staff, Dwayne and his staff, they done a great job, flying me over here and taking great care of me and my husband. And the board of directors, especially Ken and Paul, everybody really, like I've just met you all, but it's been a great, great group of people. And yeah, you've made me less nervous giving this presentation because everyone's been really, really nice. So thank you very much.